Denis Goldberg once said, "I am a part of the struggle. I could not separate myself from it." This profound statement captures the essence of a man who would become a stalwart in the fight against apartheid. Born on April 11, 1933, Denis Theodore Goldberg was a native of Cape Town, South Africa. His parents were Jewish immigrants, and from them, he inherited a strong sense of justice and equality. Even as a child, his passion for these ideals was evident, and it was this passion that would shape his life and the course of South African history. As a young man, Goldberg was quick to align himself with the forces of change. He joined two prominent organizations leading the fight against apartheid, the African National Congress, or ANC, and the South African Communist Party, or SACP. These weren't just memberships to him, they were commitments to a cause, commitments that would come at a great personal cost. In the ANC, Goldberg found a sense of purpose and direction. He was drawn to the organization's commitment to equality and its determined opposition to the oppressive apartheid regime. The SACP, on the other hand, appealed to his belief in social justice and class equality. He saw in the party a vehicle for creating a fairer, more equitable South Africa. Goldberg's activism was not limited to these organizations. He was a tireless campaigner, using every opportunity to rally against the injustices of apartheid. He spoke at meetings, participated in demonstrations, and was not afraid to challenge the authorities. His actions were not without risk, but Goldberg was not a man to be deterred by fear. He was driven by his conviction that apartheid was a grave injustice that had to be eradicated. A passionate activist from a young age, Goldberg was destined to play a crucial role in South Africa's struggle against apartheid. His early activism laid the groundwork for the battles he would fight, the sacrifices he would make, and the indelible mark he would leave on his country's history. In 1963, Denis Goldberg found himself in the crosshairs of the apartheid government. A time of tension and turmoil, the year was marked by a significant event that would shift the trajectory of South Africa's history. It was in this year that Goldberg, along with other stalwarts of the anti-apartheid movement, was arrested during a police raid at a seemingly ordinary location, the Lilies Leaf Farm in Rivonia. This farm, a clandestine meeting place for the African National Congress, was infiltrated by the apartheid regime's law enforcement. The raid led to the apprehension of key figures in the anti-apartheid movement, including Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, Ahmed Kathrada, and of course, Denis Goldberg himself. These individuals, who were at the time seen as a threat to the apartheid state, were suddenly thrust into the limelight, their names becoming synonymous with the struggle for freedom. The charges brought against them were as serious as they were numerous. Sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the apartheid government were among the accusations, reinforcing the state's portrayal of these activists as enemies of the state. Yet for many South Africans and supporters of the anti-apartheid movement worldwide, these individuals were heroes, fighting for a just and equal society. The severity of these charges meant that the upcoming trial would be far from ordinary. Known as the Rivonia trial, this legal battle would expose the brutality of the apartheid regime, while also demonstrating the courage and resilience of those who dared to oppose it. The stakes were high, and the world watched with bated breath as the trial unfolded. Goldberg and his comrades, despite facing potential life sentences, remained undeterred. Their dedication to the cause was unwavering, their belief in a free and equal South Africa unshakable. Their arrest and impending trial only served to fuel their resolve. A trial that would go down in history was about to begin, with Goldberg and his comrades at the forefront. This was a defining moment in the fight against apartheid, a moment that would forever etch the names of these activists in the annals of South African history. 1964 marked the beginning of a long and harrowing journey for Denis Goldberg. In the aftermath of the Rivonia trial, Goldberg, along with his comrades, was convicted of sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the apartheid government. A life sentence was handed down to him, a daunting prospect for anyone, let alone a man in his early 30s. His sentence was served on Robben Island, a bleak and unforgiving place that would be his home for the next 2 decades. Yet, it was here that Goldberg's resilience began to shine. The confines of prison did not dampen his spirit. Instead, it ignited within him a fiery determination. He was the only white person among the Rivonia trialists, an anomaly in the racially segregated prison system, but this did not deter him from his mission. Goldberg's time in prison was marked by continued activism. He remained committed to the struggle for freedom and equality, even within the confines of prison walls. He used his time to educate himself and others, fostering a sense of unity among his fellow inmates. His advocacy for non-racialism was not merely a theoretical stance, it was a lived experience, a daily practice. He believed in the power of unity, in the strength of a united front against the oppressive apartheid regime. He saw past the color of his skin and the color of his fellow inmates' skin. He saw them as comrades, as fellow soldiers in the fight against a common enemy. His push for non-racialism and unity was not just about the fight against apartheid, it was about the future of South Africa, a future where all South Africans, regardless of race, stood together as equals. Goldberg's life in prison was a testament to his resilience, his unwavering commitment to the cause, and his belief in a better future for South Africa. His resilience did not waver, even in the face of extreme adversity. Despite the confines of prison, Goldberg's spirit remained unbroken, a beacon of hope for all who fought against apartheid. After over 2 decades behind bars, Denis Goldberg emerged into a changing South Africa. This marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another in his remarkable life story. In 1985, Goldberg tasted freedom once again, leaving the confines of prison walls behind him, but not forgetting the cause for which he had been imprisoned. His release was a pivotal moment, not just for him but for South Africa as a nation. It signaled a shift in the political landscape, a crack in the seemingly impregnable fortress of apartheid. But Goldberg knew that while he was free, the struggle was far from over. The fight for justice, reconciliation, and democracy was still very much alive. In the years following his release, Goldberg refused to rest on his laurels. He continued his activism with the same fervor and unwavering commitment that had defined his earlier years. He became a voice for social justice, advocating for the rights of all South Africans, regardless of race or social standing. His message was clear: apartheid must end, and a new democratic South Africa must rise in its place. Goldberg's contribution to the struggle against apartheid extended beyond just words. He played a key role in the negotiations that led to the end of apartheid. It was a monumental task, a delicate dance of diplomacy and determination, but Goldberg and his comrades were up to the challenge. They navigated the treacherous waters of negotiation with grace and tenacity, leading the way to the dawn of a new era. In 1994, their efforts bore fruit. Apartheid was officially abolished, and South Africa held its first democratic elections. It was a momentous occasion, a testament to the power of resistance, and Goldberg was there to witness it all. Goldberg's fight against apartheid didn't end with his release. It was merely the beginning of a new chapter. His release marked not an end, but a transition, from the struggle within the prison walls to the struggle in the wider world. And in both arenas, Goldberg proved himself a formidable force, a beacon of resilience and an enduring symbol of the fight for justice and equality. Denis Goldberg's legacy is one of unwavering commitment to justice and equality. His life is a testament to the power of resilience and determination. Even after his release from prison, after enduring more than 2 decades behind bars, his fight did not end. He continued to strive for reconciliation, social justice, and the building of a democratic South Africa. In the dawn of post-apartheid South Africa, Goldberg played a crucial role. His contributions to the negotiations that led to the end of apartheid and the establishment of democratic elections in 1994 were significant. But his influence didn't stop there. Goldberg remained an active participant in the political discourse shaping his nation's future. His voice, seasoned with the wisdom of struggle and survival, became a beacon of hope and a call for continued vigilance. His advocacy for human rights, education, and socio-economic development were unwavering. He saw education as a powerful tool for change, and he was a strong proponent for the socio-economic development of South Africa. He believed that the struggle for equality extended beyond the fight against racial discrimination, encompassing the fight against poverty and for the right to quality education. Goldberg also remained active in civil society, consistently advocating for the rights and freedoms that he had fought so hard to achieve. His commitment to these principles never wavered, even in the face of adversity and the challenges of a changing world. In the year 2020, Denis Goldberg passed away, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate. His life story is a beacon of courage, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the principles of justice and equality. Denis Goldberg, a stalwart of the anti-apartheid movement, a man whose life and legacy continue to inspire activists and freedom fighters worldwide. His story is not just a history lesson, but a call to action, a reminder that the fight for justice, for equality, for human rights, is never truly over.